Stained glass to me is an art form that allows us to transition light. It allows us to change the feeling of a space or create a vibe in a space by changing the atmosphere inside of it. My name's Crosby Haider. I'm the second generation owner and operator of Rubaiyat Stained Glass. I've been running our studio for about the last 15 years, and we are the only surviving stained glass studio in town. My first stained glass experience was, I was rather young. I grew up in the studio. My father started it, and everything I've learned from my father. He's a self-taught artist in stained glass, and I've sort of picked up what he has taught me over the last 40-odd years.
I primarily started doing stained glass out of a book. There was no place to learn it. There was no place to buy supply in Calgary at the time. But again, fortunately, I found my way through it, and I started building stained glass windows in the back of our original gallery. And then that carried forward for the last 50 years. Stained glass is a media that we use. It's formed in flat sheets for our use in a multitude of colors. So the technique is to design windows or lamps or artistic pieces that we then go forward and trace onto the colored glass that we want to use. We cut that glass, we now grind it. Once the glass is cut to design, we then put it together either with lead cane, copper foiling. Once it's assembled with the metal, we then flux and solder with lead and tin solder each joint or each seam to form one piece.
A lot of our acknowledgement that we get is the reaction we get from our clients. We've put in memorial pieces that have brought families to tears when they've seen it. We always love to hear from our clients that it's the highlight of their day when they turn the corner in their house and see our piece there for them. We really focus on creating something that's timeless for families or congregations or whatever client that we have, because we know that it's going to stay there forever. The stained glass industry has been in flux for the last several years due to costs, due to it not being in popular demand right now. The push is to always grow. We have always just sort of had that staying power, being one of the first in the city, and now we are the last. It gives us the opportunity to care for every church in the city. We restore any church, synagogue, temple that requires it. We like to save the history of Calgary. And a lot of that history is shown in windows and shown in the architecture of our beautiful heritage buildings in the city. Our biggest challenge these days would be the loss of craftsmanship, of people that want to work with their hands and create something from nothing. It's been difficult to find people that want to continue this trade, as it were.
We've come to realize that if we don't start teaching stained glass, we are talking about trying to expand into a section where we will actually start training people in stained glass. It'll start mostly as a hobby, but I think at a certain level, even after a year or two of people being involved in stained glass, they tend to want to learn more about the craft. And there are so many aspects of glass that a hobbyist will never see or understand, but I think if we were to actually start teaching and bring in different people working with glass in different ways than we do, I think we can broaden the horizon.